Chairman and Chief Executive of the Singapore Tourism Board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to join all of you tonight for this year's Tourism Awards and also to mark STB's 60th anniversary, which means 60 years of tourism promotion and development in Singapore. I think it's extra special for the industry because I understand that the last time you had a face-to-face event for your awards was way back in 2019. It felt like a different world, 2019, because after that we went through COVID and the tourism industry was one of the hardest hit by COVID. So I also want to thank all of you for your forbearance and support during that difficult period, for your grit and resilience, and for working together with the government in getting through the crisis and emerging stronger. Thank you very much. Of course, so much has changed in the last 60 years. Back in 1964, we only had several tens of thousands of tourists in Singapore. We had rather simple attractions when we look back, it seems simple to us, at least now. The Bird Park in 1971, the zoo later in 1973, and then we had Sentosa later. Those were the kinds of attractions we had back then, and today we have world-class attractions, and we welcome well over 10 million visitors from all over the world. And these changes did not happen by chance. They took years and decades of hard work. We invested in key infrastructure like Changi Airport. We revamped and improved our attractions, and the zoo and the bird park are now part of a cluster of nature-themed attractions in Mandai. I'm sure the Mandai team will make some noise. We strengthen our arts and cultural offerings through the Esplanade and our museums. We brought in world-class amenities and facilities, including through the integrated resorts. We curated a more vibrant calendar of lifestyle events throughout the year. And importantly, we worked together as an industry to make sure that the entire visitor experience is a good one, from smooth immigration clearance at the airport to having clean, green, and safe streets where visitors can enjoy themselves. This remarkable transformation over the last 60 years could not have happened without the dedication of all of you. Our STB officers, past and present, I think several past veteran STB officers are here, past chairmen, past board members and CEOs, as well as our partners in the tourism industry. Your efforts help to make Singapore an attractive, must-see destination. As the MC said just now, in the past, even when I was in college in America, when you tell people where you are from, Singapore, you get a blank look on most people's faces. They really don't know where Singapore is. This is in the 80s, in the 90s. Nowadays, it is very different. People know where Singapore is. Our brand name, our reputation is up there. And all of our achievements have been made possible because of your contributions and hard work. So tonight, I'd like to thank all of you for doing your part for Singapore tourism. Thank you very much. Of course, tonight we honor one of the tourism sector's pioneers, none other than Mrs. Pamela Lee. She joined STB's predecessor, the Singapore Tourism Promotion Board, in 1978. She was one of the first to recognize the value in promoting Singapore's culture and heritage as our unique selling point. So she advocated for the preservation of historic districts like Chinatown and Little India, the conservation of heritage buildings like Chimes and Raffles Hotel, and she even played a part in bringing back the traditional bumboats along the Singapore River. Her leadership and vision played a key role in shaping Singapore's tourism sector, and so I'm sure you will agree with me, she is a well-deserved recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations. We are also recognizing a number of leaders in the tourism industry. We saw 2 videos just now. I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal all of them, but it's okay. I think I'll mention them. They are on my table anyway. We have an outstanding tourism entrepreneur, Mr. Ron Tan. You saw the video of Mrs. Lynette Tan just now as well, doing events. And then you have recognition for others like Mr. Goh Chun Pong, Mr. Yam Kam Weng, Mr. Damien De Silva, Mr. Kung Tiong Wah. They are all getting recognition awards. Congratulations, all of you. We also honor 24 service professionals for going the extra mile for their customers. These service professionals serve at the front line. And they work in different roles, from tourist guides to cafe managers. And all of them have done their part to provide exceptional care and concern for visitors. One of them, Ms. Puginis Visvanathan, was previously an assistant teacher in a special needs school. She decided to make a career switch, so she joined the retail industry and eventually found her way to Sentosa, working as a senior ticketing host. While her career path has changed, she retains a sense of care and empathy. So one time she met a boy who was lost. He was scared and he was crying. But from her past experience, she could tell this is a boy with special needs. So she paid extra attention to comfort him, gave him a hug, and eventually reunited him with his mother. Well done. There are many other heartwarming stories to share amongst the 24. We can go on for all night. I won't be able to go through all of them. But these are individuals who have gone above and beyond to deliver exceptional experiences to visitors in Singapore. So thank you all for your contributions to our tourism industry too. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. We have come a long way in developing tourism in Singapore, there is no doubt. But we cannot be complacent because other countries are stepping up their game. And travelers these days have so many options. We are travelers too. Singaporeans love to travel. We know that there are many options to go, different places to go to. And it's really not that simple or easy for Singapore to compete. In our immediate region alone, there are so many interesting places to visit. If you want to go for nice beaches, so many options to explore. Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, beautiful beaches, nothing that we can match. If you are interested in history, there are so many well-known heritage places to visit around the region. Don't talk about far away, but just in Southeast Asia, so many historical sites. So what is Singapore to do? How do we compete? I think first of all, we should build on our strengths. We cannot be all things to all people. We should focus on our Singapore story, how people from diverse backgrounds have come together as one, and how we have worked together to transform this place from mudflats to metropolis. Interestingly, I found out that one of the most popular tourist destinations is at URA, the Singapore City Gallery. I mean, URA didn't set up the gallery for tourism purposes. But the fact that it is such a tourist draw shows that there is interest in our journey as a nation. So we should develop better ways to tell our Singapore story. This is not about more hardware and infrastructure. It is about better storytelling. How can we do that? Through our museums, our arts and cultural performances, so that visitors can experience Singapore in an appealing and authentic manner. Another strength we have is our position as a business hub. We attract many business travelers. That is clearly a competitive advantage we have. We are amongst the most popular destinations in the world for business meetings and for MICE events. So we should build on this and do more to encourage business travelers to come. And then when they come for business meetings, to stay on for a few more days to do some sightseeing after their work is done. And they can, in Singapore, visit our attractions. They can enjoy, for example, dining experiences here across our wide range of F&B options, from Michelin-starred restaurants to hawker centers. Our connectivity is yet another key asset. Visitors who travel from afar to our region will want to visit more than just one country. So Singapore can be a launchpad from which they can do short visits to other countries, either by plane or even by taking a cruise from our cruise center. Second, we can develop more imaginative projects. Again, we can't do everything. There are constraints and trade-offs. In Singapore, it'll be hard to find good sites, not so much land options for us. Funding resources are always a constraint, and we have to be selective. We do have a few new attractions in the pipeline, including new entertainment arena at Marina Bay and the new attractions at Mandai Nature Reserve, and so on. We are looking at major sports events to attract and bring in some of them here. We are certainly bringing more concerts and festivals. But the key is to be able to synergize and pull it all together. And that was what made F1 so successful. It was not just a car race, but an entire weekend with many supporting activities around it, international conferences, concerts, and so on. So we should adopt this same approach in staging other new events, so that they are not just done in isolation, but are curated as part of a vibrant, year-round calendar of unforgettable experiences in Singapore. And that means STB cannot just operate on its own. It has to work closely with other government agencies as well as with all of you, industry partners, to maximize our overall effort. Finally, tourism at its core is a people business. All the best attractions, hotels, and events will count for nothing without the human touch. The human touch in imagination, in service, and in connection. So we have to continue to invest in our people to maintain our competitive advantage. MTI and STB have plans to better equip our tour guides and also to nurture leaders in the tourism industry, and they will share more about this in due course. And at the end of the day, the most important attraction in Singapore is not a museum, it's not Marina Bay Sands, it's not another hardware. The most important attraction is all of us, Singaporeans. We are all ambassadors of Singapore, and we should strive to extend our warmth and hospitality to all our visitors. We should do our part to preserve and celebrate Singapore's distinctive culture and heritage and build a home that we can all be proud of, both for ourselves and also to showcase to the world. Singapore has no doubt succeeded beyond all expectations, but remember, we will always be a little red dot with no hinterland and no natural resources. And that means we will have to continually reinvent ourselves and find new ways to add value to the world and make a living for ourselves. So tonight, as we celebrate 60 years of tourism development, as we celebrate the achievements of all our partners in the tourism industry, I hope we can also inspire one another to keep on innovating, to keep on striving to do better, and to work together to bring Singapore tourism to even greater heights. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew and his team led us through independence and established the key pillars of governance. Mr. Goh Chok Tong and his team took us through the next lap and nurtured a kinder and gentler society. These are important foundations we will build on. Tonight, I record our nation's gratitude and my own to Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. Over a lifetime of public service, stretching over half a century, he devoted every measure of his being to the service of our country and people. Under his stewardship, Singapore navigated external as well as domestic changes and overcame multiple crises. Mr. Lee spoke often of the need to keep Singapore exceptional. He was exceptional himself in his devotion, his selflessness, and his dedication to serve. We owe him a great debt of gratitude. I am grateful that Mr. Lee and the more experienced ministers will continue to serve in my cabinet. They will provide continuity as I renew and strengthen the team with new members. One of my key priorities is to identify and persuade younger Singaporeans, men and women in their 30s and 40s, to join our team. So I call out tonight to all my fellow citizens, help me to provide Singaporeans with the government they deserve. Let us make a difference and serve our nation together. Singapore's position is strong, but the world around us is in flux. For 30 years since the Cold War ended, we enjoyed unprecedented peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific. Unfortunately, that era is over. It will not return. Now we face a world of conflict and rivalry. The great powers are competing to shape a new, yet undefined global order. This transition will be marked by geopolitical tensions as well as protectionism and rampant nationalism everywhere. It will likely stretch for years, if not decades. As a small country, we cannot escape these powerful cross-currents. As an open economy, our livelihoods will be hit when multilateralism fractures. As a diverse society, we will be vulnerable to external influences that tug us in different directions. We must brace ourselves to these new realities and adapt to a messier, riskier, and more violent world. Fortunately, our international standing is high, and the Singapore brand is admired and trusted worldwide. We seek to be friends with all while upholding our rights and interests. We value the centrality of ASEAN and its efforts to foster regional cooperation and integration. We hope for stable US-China relations and will continue engaging both powers, even as issues inevitably arise between them. We will strengthen our partnerships near and far and advance Singapore's interests so as to better shape outcomes for ourselves as well as the world. This is not the first time that we've had to confront tough external circumstances. We've done so repeatedly over the last 6 decades. Each time, we have weathered the storms and emerged stronger. The key to our success is our high level of trust in each other and our ability to work well together. Singapore has always been a diverse country, many races, many religions, many languages, and more so now than before. Yet we've strengthened our bonds as one people. We've achieved this not by denying our differences, but by embracing them. We have ensured that every community, every religion,
and every linguistic group, big or small, feels included, respected, and valued. When issues arise between communities, and from time to time they will, we do not accentuate our differences. Instead, we accept them. We seek pragmatic compromises and find as much common ground as possible. We do so always in an atmosphere of mutual respect and trust. This is the ethos that will guide me and my team. This is how we will continue to evolve and strengthen our Singapore identity. It is never about subtracting, but always about adding. It's never about contracting, but always about expanding. So from our diversity, we forge unity. From many, we become one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion. This collective striving for unity saw us through the COVID pandemic, the crisis of our generation. We responded effectively to the pandemic because we trust one another. The way we dealt with the crisis, together saving lives and livelihoods, deepened our social capital and made us a better and stronger people. COVID was a baptism of fire for me and my team. It reinforced my conviction that our exceptional performance as a nation lies not in any one person or any single institution, but in how well we work together as one team Singapore. As Prime Minister, I will lead and bear responsibility for the decisions I take, but I will also engage and maximize the combined energies, imaginations, and strengths of all Singaporeans. That is how we will take our nation forward in this dangerous and troubled world. Today, Singapore is at a high economic level compared to most other countries. By international standards, we have built excellent systems of education, housing, healthcare, and transport. But our circumstances are changing, technology is advancing, and our population is aging fast. So we cannot afford to cruise along. We must continue to do our best to improve, upgrade, and transform Singapore. I am convinced we can and we must do better. This is why I launched the Forward Singapore exercise. We listened to and spoke with many of you. We distilled your aspirations into a shared vision for our future. Forward Singapore represents the ambitions of our generation. It expresses our resolve to keep our society strong and united, to share the benefits of progress with all, not just some, to uplift all Singaporeans, not just a few. Younger Singaporeans in particular have spoken clearly. They will strive and work hard for their goals, but they do not wish to be trapped in an endless rat race of hyper-competition. They want a refreshed Singapore dream, one that is not defined by material success alone, but also offers meaning and purpose in their careers and their lives. I am determined to help Singaporeans realize your dreams. With our tripartite partners, we will continue to build a vibrant economy and create good jobs for all. We will find new ways to be productive and innovative and achieve a better balance where work is purposeful and life is meaningful. We will foster a fairer, more just, and more equal society. We will look after our seniors, the vulnerable amongst us, and those with special needs. We will support all Singaporeans, regardless of their start points, age, or ability, to uplift themselves and lead fulfilling lives. My team and I will do more in all of these areas.
Summer of DashPass, your door to 5 weeks of deals. DoorDash.
We need your help too, to support our fellow citizens and to renew our commitment to each other. Then we can build a Singapore where everyone succeeds in being the best possible version of themselves. We can be a people who are more inclusive, gracious, and big-hearted. We can be a society where every Singaporean matters and a Singapore that matters to every Singaporean. These are ambitious goals. There are no easy formulas to apply, no available models to follow. We will have to experiment, discover fresh solutions, and blaze new paths. Along the way, there will be voices that doubt our ability to go further. This skepticism has been with us since the beginning. Many have said that Singapore won't make it. Yet, time and again, we have proved the doubters wrong. And we will do so again. As Singaporeans, we all know what it means to exceed expectations, to go beyond what others think we are capable of, or even what we ourselves thought we could do. When the going gets tough, we do not crumble. We press on with faith in our fellow citizens and in Singapore's future. We strive harder, reach further, and prove that with determination and hard work, there is no challenge we cannot overcome. I will bring this same spirit into my new role. This is my promise to all Singaporeans. I will serve you with all my heart. I will never settle for the status quo. I will always seek better ways to make tomorrow better than today. My mission is clear: to continue defying the odds and to sustain this miracle called Singapore, so that we can reach even greater heights, so that we can be a beacon of hope and unity for ourselves and our children. My fellow Singaporeans, I ask you to join me and my team in our journey forward. Everyone will have a stake in our nation's progress. Everyone will play a key role in shaping our future. Let us unite with common purpose and shared resolve. Let us take Singapore forward together. Thank you.